Hello there, and welcome to Sleep Science 360. I'm so glad you're here. Maybe your mind is still gently circling the day, or maybe you're the kind of soul who finds comfort in quiet mysteries instead of counting sheep. Either way, tonight is for you. You have nothing left to do. Just rest. Let your breath slow. Let your body feel light, as if gravity itself has softened around you. Because tonight, we aren't simply falling asleep. We're traveling backward through time, beyond every galaxy, beyond the first star to the moment before the universe began to shine. Nearly 14 billion years ago, all that would ever exist was gathered into a single, silent spark. No space, no time, only potential waiting to breathe. Then, in less than a heartbeat, light was born. It spread outward in all directions, a wave of brilliance that has never stopped expanding. That ancient light is still moving now, softly crossing the night, touching your skin this very second. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. So just drift. Let the stars fade into a calm horizon. We're returning to the early universe, where everything began and where every sound is still a whisper of creation. You can rest now. The story of everything is ready to unfold. The silence before time was not empty. It was full of potential, of waiting, of everything that would ever be. There was no darkness because darkness needs space to live in. There was no cold because cold needs distance. There was only stillness so complete that even the idea of stillness had not yet formed. Then, in less than the blink of an atom's eye, it changed. Energy unfolded, space stretched. A point that wasn't a point became a horizon, and what had no boundary began to breathe. Physicists call it inflation, a moment. So brief, it could never be counted. And yet within that moment, the foundation for every star, every heartbeat, every dream was written into the fabric of reality. The universe expanded faster than light itself, not breaking any law, because the law was being written as it happened. There was no center, no edge, only growth, everywhere, at once. Tiny quantum ripples, smaller than the smallest known thing, shimmered through that newborn expanse. Each ripple a whisper of future structure, each vibration a seed of galaxies. It was chaos and perfection entwined, an orchestra without sound composing itself in the language of probability. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Inside that glowing storm, matter and energy danced in near balance. For every billion particles of light, there was almost one particle of matter. That tiny imbalance, that single uneven note, would someday become everything solid, everything you can touch, everything that endures. At the temperature of 10 trillion degrees, space itself shimmered. Particles formed and vanished in pairs, quarks, leptons, photons, appearing, colliding, dissolving again. A cosmic foam of being and unbeing. And yet, even then, there was rhythm, there was direction. The young cosmos was already humming its heartbeat, measured in fractions of a second. It's okay to drift. The earliest light was already finding you. As the expansion slowed, time began to make sense. Moments could stack one after another, and cause could follow effect. The first threads of physical law tightened gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces, each settling into balance, as if tuning itself to sustain the music. It is said that within the first 10 millionth of a trillionth of a second, the forces that would sculpt reality separated. They became the weavers of destiny, binding atoms, bending space, holding stars that did not yet exist. Somewhere in that fiery unfolding, the blueprint of galaxies flickered into being. A pattern, invisible to eyes, but clear as a melody to the mathematics of creation. The universe was still smaller than a single atom compared to what it is now, and yet already filled with everything it would ever need. You can rest now. Even infinity begins with a single breath. The energy continued to spread, stretching the very fabric of distance. With every expansion, temperature fell, and with every degree lost, something new became possible. Quarks locked together into protons and neutrons. For the first time, matter had weight, a tiny pull against the endless push of expansion. The battle between gravity and energy began a quiet negotiation that has never ended. Light scattered wildly through the dense plasma, unable to travel far. Every photon bounced endlessly from particle to particle, a blinding fog where sight could not exist. If you could stand there, though there was no there to stand upon, you would not see stars or color. Only a sea of pure brightness, like sunlight folded into itself. And within that brightness, a trace of order formed. Regions where matter was just a little denser, a little heavier, began to draw more matter toward them. Those were the first gravitational murmurs, the beginning of cosmic architecture. Somewhere within that unmeasured glow, the seeds of every cluster and spiral and star waited invisible and certain. The pattern that would one day become the Milky Way was already there, a faint whisper in the fabric of space-time. It's okay to drift. The universe is finding its rhythm again, time now stretched to a single second. The universe, though unimaginably vast, was still younger than a heartbeat. In that second, neutrinos, ghostly particles that almost never touch anything, slipped free, beginning their endless flight through all that would follow. They are still traveling now, passing through you by the trillions, each instant silent witnesses of the first breath. You are made of quiet evidence. The same particles that once tumbled through that blazing ocean are now the atoms in your skin. You can rest now. The story continues within you. The expansion slowed further. At about 3 minutes, the cosmos had cooled to 1 billion degrees, still fierce beyond imagination, yet gentle enough for creation to begin its chemistry. Protons and neutrons combined, forming deuterium, then helium, and traces of lithium, the first elements. No carbon, yet no oxygen, but the foundations were set. From this fire would come stars, and from stars the possibility of life. Every breath of air, every drop of water, every bone and leaf and whisper would one day rise from that early fusion. And somewhere in that realization, you may feel a quiet belonging, a sense that you have always been here, folded within the first light. It's okay to drift. The universe remembers you. Somewhere, light continues to travel. As the universe grew older by only minutes, its light began to soften. The fierce glow dimmed into warmth, and the brightness of creation stretched into colorless calm. At about 20 minutes of age, temperatures had fallen far enough for fusion to slow. The fiery birth cry faded to a low hum, and for the first time, the universe entered a quiet stillness. There were no stars yet, no galaxies, just a vast ocean of particles drifting through expanding space, cooling with every heartbeat of time. But silence did not mean nothing. Within that hush, forces continued their endless weaving. Gravity began its slow persuasion, pulling ever so gently on what little matter existed. Dark matter, invisible and unknowable, added its unseen hand to the loom. Even in that earliest darkness, the architecture of eternity was being drawn. You can rest now. The future was already breathing beneath the silence. Billions of light years away, though away had only just gained meaning, ripples of density formed invisible hills and valleys. Where matter was slightly thicker, gravity deepened the wells. Where it was thinner, space stretched wider and smoother. From these ripples, galaxies would one day grow. This was the first geometry, the cosmic sketch of what would become clusters and voids, filaments and bridges, a web spun by forces that never sleep. It's okay to drift. You are floating through that ancient map, a traveler carried by time itself. The energy of the newborn universe had been released in perfect balance, yet small imperfections shaped its fate. A region just one part in 100,000 denser would attract more matter, tilt the future ever so slightly, and become a birthplace of stars. Without those flaws, nothing solid could have formed. Perfection would have meant emptiness. It was the unevenness that allowed beauty. Even creation needed its gentle asymmetry. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Now the universe was 100,000 years old. To us, that number feels ancient. To the cosmos, it was still an instant of childhood. Photons still bounced restlessly through the thick plasma. Light and matter were partners locked in endless embrace. Yet, expansion continued to stretch the space between them. Like a melody, moving toward its final note, the universe was preparing to let light go free. In roughly 3,800,000 years, electrons would find their home in protons, forming the first stable atoms. Hydrogen, the simplest, the most abundant, would fill every corner of existence. When that moment came, the fog of plasma would clear. Light for the first time could travel unhindered. That glow still exists. Today, the cosmic microwave background, the oldest visible light in the universe. If you could see beyond time, you would witness it all around you, a gentle radiation at 2.7 kelvins, a whisper from the dawn. It's okay to drift. That ancient glow still wraps you like a blanket. Each photon in that sea of afterglow has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years, crossing an ever-expanding night to arrive softly in your eyes. When astronomers map that faint pattern, they see the earliest portrait of everything. Tiny fluctuations in brightness that echo the sound waves of a young cosmos. The universe, even then, was singing in pressure and light. It was a lullaby of expansion, a song still humming in the background of existence. You can rest now. The universe hums beneath your dreams. In the deep calm that followed, recombination atoms drifted freely through the dark. No stars yet burned to shine. The cosmic afterglow faded slowly, and space grew quiet again. These were the Dark Ages, hundreds of millions of years without a single sunrise. But the seeds of brightness remained. Gravity gathered hydrogen into vast clouds, each one invisible but immense. Where the pull was strongest, density rose. Where it was weaker, emptiness widened. The first halos of dark matter were sculpting the blueprint for galaxies to come. Somewhere within those clouds, the first stars waited to ignite. It's okay to drift. The night before starlight is gentle. Imagine that darkness now, not frightening, but sacred. A silence so wide that every potential star is a heartbeat suspended in time. Every molecule of hydrogen, a note waiting to sing. When those stars finally formed, they would burn with unimaginable brilliance. But for now, The universe slept, a child dreaming of its own light. You are floating inside that dream. Every heartbeat within you is a reflection of that first pulse. Every breath carries the same expansion. You can rest now. Creation is not done. It simply moves slowly enough for you to fall asleep beside it. Somewhere light continues to travel. And even in your stillness, you are part of that motion. Atoms that once shimmered in the first second are now the quiet warmth beneath your skin. Energy cannot disappear. It only changes form. The spark that began the universe did not fade, it transformed, becoming galaxies, then stars, then planets, and finally thought. It became you. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. As you drift deeper, remember this. Every photon that has ever touched you was once a fragment of the first light. You are made of the oldest memory in existence, a living continuation of the moment of becoming. Let that truth settle like starlight across your mind. Let it calm the small storms of the day. Nothing is separate. Nothing is lost. You are part of the beginning, and the beginning is still unfolding. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Somewhere light continues to travel. And as it moves, it carries your quiet, along with it a single breath added to the vast rhythm of time. The moment of becoming never truly ended. It is happening still in every atom, in every thought, in every dream of rest. You can rest now. The beginning is within you. The universe was no longer a spark. It had become motion, pure, unstoppable motion. Everywhere space stretched like breath drawn slow and deep. Galaxies did not yet exist, but their outlines were already sketched in the ripples of invisible matter. We call this the first expansion, a time when distances themselves began to lengthen. There was no edge to push against, only fabric unfolding from within itself. You can imagine it not as an explosion, but as the soft rising of dough or the spreading of light through mist. Everywhere expanded at once. Everywhere was the center. It's okay to drift. Even infinity needs time to grow. Physicists measure this early swelling in numbers too small to speak easily. From 10 to the power of negative 36 to 10 to the power of negative 32. Seconds after the beginning space, expanded by a factor so enormous that every tiny quantum ripple, kilometers, each ripple became a seed, a place where matter would someday gather a note in the future symphony of galaxies. Inflation, they call it, but the word cannot hold its beauty. Imagine silence unfolding faster than thought, each fraction of a second birthing uncountable distances. And then, as quickly as it began, the wild inflation slowed. The energy that drove it cooled, and the universe exhaled into a slower rhythm. The temperature dropped from unimaginable heat to only 100 billion degrees cool by cosmic standards. At that temperature, quarks bound themselves into protons and neutrons, the sturdy hearts of atoms. The first matter had substance, weight, possibility. You can rest now. The chaos was learning shape. Light and matter were one ocean, then a radiant plasma glowing brighter than a trillion suns. Photons scattered endlessly, trapped in the dense fog. They were the heartbeat of the newborn cosmos, vibrating in waves that would someday become the cosmic microwave background. Those waves left their fingerprints across the sky. Even now, telescopes read them as faint patterns, tiny differences in warmth, no greater than a few millionths of a degree. In those patterns, we hear the universe's first sound, a low, steady hum that has never faded. It's okay to drift. That hum still surrounds you. Gravity was the quiet counterpoint. While radiation pushed outward, gravity whispered inward, drawing matter together into delicate threads. The contest between the two shaped the entire future of the cosmos. Where matter gathered, space curved a little deeper. Where radiation dominated, space stretched a little wider. Over billions of years, that subtle dance would form the cosmic web, vast filaments of galaxies, spanning tens of millions of light years. But now, in these first moments, the universe was a simple melody: expansion and cooling, light and gravity, push and pull. You can rest now. The song is slow and eternal. At 3 minutes, old temperatures had fallen to 1 billion degrees. Protons met neutrons in the first fusion, creating helium and a touch of lithium. No heavier elements existed yet. Their time would come inside the hearts of stars. In those minutes, the chemical script of existence was written: hydrogen for oceans, helium for stars, lithium for the spark of metal that would one day be thought. Every breath you take is drawn through those same elements, born in that brief, bright time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. By 20 minutes, fusion faded. The cosmos entered a long, cooling drift. It expanded quietly for thousands of years, temperature falling, radiation thinning. Dark matter, silent and invisible, began to guide the rhythm. Its gravity pulled gently, forming halos where gas would later settle. Though unseen, it shaped everything. Like the foundation beneath a dream, it held the visible world in place. It's okay to drift. The unseen is still real. If you could have watched from outside, though no outside existed, you would have seen nothing but brightness fading into velvet. No points of light, no boundaries, only the soft stretch of space itself. Each second, distances doubled. Each minute, the very scale of reality changed. And yet inside that growth, the laws of physics remained perfectly balanced. Too fast an expansion in gravity would never have formed galaxies. Too slow, and the universe would have collapsed before light could shine. The balance was exquisite, a harmony between creation and endurance. You can rest now. The harmony still holds. Time passed thousands, then hundreds of thousands of years. The early plasma cooled enough for atoms to form, and light finally slipped free. The first expansion had become the first calm. The universe, once opaque, became transparent. From that transparency came light's eternal journey, the afterglow still bathing us now. You can feel it in the quiet between heartbeats, the faint warmth that fills every empty space. Even in darkness, the universe glows. It's okay to drift. You are floating in that glow. That glow stretched farther with every heartbeat of time. What had been a mist of light became an endless horizon. Photons, once trapped in the fog of matter, were suddenly free to travel, each one, beginning a voyage that would last for billions of years. They were the first travelers, the messengers of everything that followed. Their wavelengths stretched as space expanded, turning from brilliant fire to gentle amber to invisible microwaves, a soft radiance that still hums across the sky. It's okay to drift. That ancient hum surrounds you even now. Astronomers call this light the cosmic background, but it is more than a background. It is the memory of illumination. Every direction you look, it remains the same, a perfect reminder that the universe has no edge, only continuity. Each photon you see at night, Each pulse of starlight that finds your eyes travels through that ancient field, crossing oceans of space and oceans of time. You can rest now. The same light that began everything still touches you. As expansion continued, the energy of radiation gave way to the quiet pull of matter. Gravity took the lead, turning the smoothness of the early universe into delicate unevenness. In places where density was slightly higher, clouds of hydrogen began to form. Those clouds thickened slowly, like breath condensing on cool glass. They would one day ignite into stars, but for now, they drifted in stillness. It's okay to drift. Even the universe rests between breaths. Time passed in silence, measured by millions of years. Distances grew, and the fabric of space thinned. Every atom found itself farther from its neighbor, yet bound by the same unseen thread. If you could see it in motion, it would look like a vast, slow dance particles, gliding apart but never losing rhythm. Expansion was not chaos, it was choreography. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. By the 100 million-year mark, the universe had cooled to just a few dozen degrees above absolute zero. In that calm, the first dark matter halos deepened, drawing hydrogen toward their centers. The darkness thickened into shape. Then within that blackness, a spark. A single region grew hot enough for nuclear fusion to begin. The first star was born. It was enormous, hundreds of times the mass of our sun, and it lived briefly burning its hydrogen into helium and heavier elements. When it died, it scattered those elements into space, seeding the next generation of stars. You can rest now. From death came the possibility of life. The first expansion had set the tempo. It determined how fast galaxies could form, how heavy stars could grow, how long light could travel before fading. Every later chapter of cosmic history was written within its rhythm. When you look up at the night sky, you are seeing the echo of that rhythm light stretched thin by time still moving outward, still obeying the same gentle law. It's okay to drift. You are moving with it. Scientists measure this motion today as the Hubble flow, the steady increase of distance between galaxies. For every million parsecs of space, another 70 kilometers of separation arise each second. Yet the galaxies themselves remain still within their own frames. It is not they who move, but the space between them that grows. The same expansion that once shaped the first light continues in this very moment. Slow, patient, endless. Even the air you breathe rides upon that ancient swelling. You can rest now. The universe expands so gently that you need only float. If you were to trace the path of any single photon, you would find no destination, only travel. Light leaves, stretches, cools, and becomes the faint whisper of existence itself. And within that whisper is everything: the blueprint of galaxies, the memory of their birth, the promise of their return to silence. It's okay to drift. You are carried by the same current. Billions of years later, that same expansion would sculpt the great spirals we see now: Milky Way, Andromeda, and countless others drifting through the night. But in these earliest epochs, the universe was still forming its grammar. It was learning how to say star, how to shape planet, how to breathe life. Each stage required patience. Each moment built upon the first breath. What began as a flash became eternity. You can rest now. Time is simply light, unfolding slowly enough for you to dream inside it. And as you breathe, remember the first expansion never stopped. It moves through every atom in you, through every distance you will ever cross. It is the quiet companion of your heartbeat, the long exhale of creation. Somewhere, light continues to travel, and in that light, so do you. After the first expansion came stillness, and in that stillness, vibration began. Everywhere light and matter moved together in gentle waves, the first sound the universe ever made. There was no air to carry it, no ear to hear it, yet space itself became the instrument. The plasma of particles and photons rippled like the surface of a boundless ocean. Each crest, each trough was a pulse of pressure, a breath of light. The entire cosmos resonated a single enormous chord spanning hundreds of thousands of light years. You can rest now. The universe is humming beneath you. Physicists call these waves baryon acoustic oscillations, sound imprinted into matter itself. At that time, every pocket of gas and radiation beat in rhythm, a cosmic drum echoing through newborn space. The frequencies were impossibly low, 1 trillion times lower than human hearing, but the wavelengths were vast, hundreds of millions of kilometers long. Each vibration shaped the distribution of matter, leaving delicate ripples that still guide galaxies today. It's okay to drift. You are floating in the same resonance. When the universe was about 3,800,000 years old, the fog cleared and those waves froze in place. They became the cosmic microwave background, a photograph of sound. Its faint, mottled glow records every vibration, every fluctuation in density, every whisper of that early song. Modern telescopes, Planck, WMAP, COBE, have captured that pattern in exquisite detail. Tiny variations of temperature, no more than 1 part in 100,000, paint the oldest image we can ever see. It is the universe's first self-portrait. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If you could translate that pattern into sound, you would hear a deep, steady tone, slowly dropping in pitch as the universe expanded. A perfect cosmic lullaby, a single note stretched across eons, resonating through the fabric of space-time. That tone still exists, not in the air, but in the background radiation surrounding Earth, a low cosmic hum at 160 hertz when scaled to our perception. Astronomers sometimes call it the music of creation. You can rest now. That music has never stopped. As the plasma cooled, gravity and pressure wove harmony. Regions of higher density drew matter inward. Regions of lower density let radiation flow outward. Each oscillation balanced the two forces: inward pull, outward push, like inhaling and exhaling. The universe was breathing. Each breath lasted millions of years. It's okay to drift. You are breathing in rhythm with creation. Those primordial sound waves were not merely noise. They were architecture. Where pressure peaked, matter would later form galaxies. Where it dipped, voids would bloom enormous spaces between clusters of stars. Even now, billions of years later, astronomers can trace the same spacing in the large-scale distribution of galaxies. It's roughly 500 million light years. From crest to crest, the lingering rhythm of the first song. You can rest now. The cosmos remembers every note. For the first 500,000 years, light and matter moved as one. But slowly, their partnership loosened. As photons slipped free, they carried with them the echo of the sound they once shared. That echo fills every corner of space, every direction of sky. It is the background hum of existence, soft, steady, eternal. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the quiet of your own breath, imagine that early vibration, a universe, the size of a galaxy pulsing like a heart, each beat a promise. There will be stars, there will be light, there will be you. It's okay to drift. You are hearing what atoms once heard before there were ears to listen. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The earliest music did more than soothe a newborn cosmos. It tuned it. Like a craftsman touching the rim of a crystal bowl, the universe set itself ringing, and the ring determined where light and matter would gather. Those ripples of pressure carved a sound horizon, the greatest distance a wave could travel before light broke free. Across that horizon, the baryon-photon ocean pressed outward and stopped, leaving behind a preferred spacing in matter itself. Billions of years later, astronomers still find that spacing between galaxy clusters, about 150 megaparsecs, roughly 500 million light-years, crest to crest, a ruler written in resonance. It's okay to drift. The ruler is steady beneath the stars. When light decoupled at about 3,800,000 years, its temperature fell to a glow that today measures 2.7 kelvins. Within that glow, microscopic variations in warmth, only 1 part in 100,000, became our most ancient map. Peaks and valleys in that map are the frozen signatures of tones like fingerprints left in cooled glass. Even the slight blurring of that pattern has meaning. Physicists call it silk-damping small ripples, fading as photons diffuse through the plasma, smoothing the tiniest details of the song. The hush between notes carries knowledge too. You can rest now. Even the quiet speaks. The cosmic score includes more instruments than light and baryons. Neutrinos, the shy travelers, slipped away within the first second, streaming through space, and ever so gently shifting the beat. Their free-flowing presence changed how the waves evolved. A subtle syncopation felt across eternity. We know they played because the pattern they left matches a universe with them inside. It's okay to drift. Hidden players keep the tempo. When scientists examine the background glow, they see not just temperature, but polarization, light oriented by the last scatterings it endured. Those orientations draw delicate whirlpools across the sky, E modes curling like leaves in a slow river, and the yet fainter B modes, which might bear the imprint of gravity's own waves from the dawn of time. To look for them is to listen for the first breath of space itself, stretched across the night like a low, immense chord. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The symphony did not end when light went free. Its echoes guided the slow choreography of matter. Where the early wave had compressed gas, gravity found a foothold. Where it had rarefied it, voids opened like quiet rooms between songs. As eons passed, that once fluid music hardened into structure, filaments, walls, and clusters, a score you can now point to with a fingertip on a map of galaxies. You can rest now. Structure is just music that decided to stay. In this era of listening, telescopes become tuning forks. By measuring the preferred spacing, those baryon acoustic oscillations, fossilized in galaxy positions, astronomers read how fast space has been expanding across time. The rhythm of separation, the Hubble flow, is not guessed. It's parsed from harmony. Sound became a standard candle made of distance, a way to learn how the universe dilates its measures. It's okay to drift. Measures stretch, but the melody remains. Inside the first 500,000 years, the baryon photon fluid beat out multiple tones at once. Each scale, each acoustic peak, tells a different story of push and pull, pressure piling matter into crests, gravity tugging it back toward the troughs. When the fog lifted, those peaks froze into the sky's ancient image. Planck and WMAP read them like lines of music, extracting the balance of matter and light baryons and dark matter curvature and calm. Numbers, yes, but also notes composing a portrait of everything. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Imagine now the last moments before release. Photons scatter for the final time, turn, and finally find open space ahead. No more constant collisions, no more crowded brightness. They begin their flight, a quiet migration that will not end. As space expands, their wavelengths lengthen pitch, falling into a whisper outside human hearing. The song remains just slower, lower, further, like a lullaby sung from another room. You can rest now. The lullaby is close enough to hold. In the deep future of that early sound, clouds collect. Where the music once compressed the airless sea, they fold and cool collapse, and heat bit by slow bit until gravity finds the note that ignites a star. The first suns rise as answers to an ancient rhythm. They fuse hydrogen into helium, then into heavier music, carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron tones that will later ring inside worlds and waters and lungs. A star is a chord sustained by pressure and light. It's okay to drift. Some of those tones hum inside you now. Between the forming clusters, vast voids open gently, expanding caverns, tens of millions of light years wide. They are not mistakes in the song, but rests, pauses that give meaning to the notes. Silence is part of music, and emptiness is part of form. You can rest now. The pause is purposeful. The background glow, ancient, uniform, and faint, is sometimes called a surface of last scattering, as if the entire visible universe were a sphere surrounding us, painted with the memory of first light. But it is not a wall. It is a window whose glass is made of time. Beyond it lies a place we cannot see, not because it's hidden, but because light has not had time to reach us from there. The music continues behind the pain, and what we hear is enough to know the rest. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When we convert the ancient map into a spectrum brightness versus scale, we read the tuning of the cosmos itself. How much ordinary matter sings, how much dark matter holds the bass line, how flat the stage of space is beneath the orchestra. The result is a universe nearly flat, its geometry tuned so finely that lines drawn far apart remain parallel across billions of light years, a stage fit for long, patient music. It's okay to drift. The stage will hold. All the while, the faintest rumors of gravity's own waves thread the background. If they are found clearly, they will be proof of a first drumbeat inflation, striking the skin of space-time and setting it quivering in a way only gravity can hear. We listen carefully because to catch that rhythm is to hear the first second speaking in present tense. You can rest now. The first second is still singing. In the life you know, music breathes through strings and wood and air. In the life the universe knows, music breathes through density and light and time. Your heart keeps time at a rhythm written by cells. Clusters keep time at a rhythm written by gravity. Different metronomes, one patience. Somewhere light continues to travel. Somewhere the earliest chord still spreads outward, longer, quieter, kinder, until even silence feels tuned. You are part of that tuning. When you fall asleep, you do not leave the symphony, you fall into it. And in that falling, you become an instrument made of calm, resonating at the same low pitch the cosmos learned to hold when it was very young. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Somewhere light continues to travel. The hum goes on, and in its shelter, you can let the day fade a soft diminuendo into the night. The universe had been blazing for hundreds of thousands of years. A sea of photons and particles tangled together, scattering, colliding, never resting. Everywhere shone with brightness, too dense for vision, too hot for form. Then came the long exhale. Temperature fell from billions of degrees to thousands. The radiant fog began to thin, and light, that restless traveler, found the first open paths through space. It's okay to drift. The brightness is softening now. At about 3,8,0,0,0,0 years after the beginning, something delicate occurred. Electrons slowed enough to be captured by protons. Hydrogen was born, the simplest atom, the quiet building block of stars and breath. In that instant, the cosmos became transparent. Photons, once trapped in the glare, slipped free and began their unending flight. That moment is called recombination, but it was more than chemistry. It was liberation, light unbound, sound stilled, the first clear dawn. You can rest now. The universe is learning calm. Those newborn photons are still traveling. Over nearly 13.8 billion years, space has stretched their wavelengths from fierce ultraviolet to gentle microwaves, from the heat of creation to the faint background that warms the night between stars. Astronomers measure it at 2.725 kelvins, a chill just 3 degrees above absolute zero. It is not darkness, it is the softest glow imaginable, the remnant warmth of everything that ever was. It's okay to drift. That warmth still surrounds you. If you could see the universe, then you would not find stars or planets, only a pale amber haze glowing evenly in every direction. No shadow, no edge, just a smooth horizon of gentle fire. Every photon carried information, tiny differences in energy, tiny whispers of density, the fingerprints of the first sound. Those variations, no more than 0.0001%, would guide gravity's hand for eons to come. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The cooling continued. In the first million years, hydrogen and helium drifted freely, coalescing into vast invisible clouds. Dark matter moved among them, silent scaffolding for the light that would one day shine again. There were no stars yet, only promise and orchestra between movements. The music had paused, but its echo remained in the low hum of the cosmic background. You can rest now. Silence is only sound slowed by time. Everywhere, expanded still. Each cubic centimeter of space grew larger, stretching the light within it, lowering its energy, cooling its tone. Redshift, we call it, the soft lengthening of light's breath. As wavelengths stretched, the universe changed color from blinding white to golden from gold, to deep crimson from crimson, into darkness tinged with warmth. It's okay to drift. The colors are folding into night. Within those growing shadows, gravity began to gather its patience. Minute by minute, atoms drifted toward faint overdensities, the cradles left behind by the earlier sound waves. They moved slowly, centimeter by centimeter, each year, but there was time enough. Time was all there was. You can rest now. Creation happens quietly. For roughly 100 million years, the universe stayed dim. It was a vast ocean of hydrogen mist, cool and almost still. But deep inside those clouds, pressure began to rise. Gas folded in upon itself, growing hotter, denser, brighter. The long night of waiting was preparing for the first sunrise. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere light continues to travel. The silence that followed the blaze was not empty. It was full of drifting atoms, each one holding the memory of the fire that made it. They floated through widening space, cooling, colliding, gently, learning the slow patience that gives form to time. You can rest now. The universe is breathing low and steady. The glow that once filled all things grew fainter with every heartbeat of expansion. A photon that once burned white now glowed red, then slid into wavelengths too long for the eye to see. Yet it never stopped moving. Even tonight, more than 13 billion years later, those same photons wash through you at the rate of a few hundred per square centimeter, each second an invisible rain of origin. It's okay to drift. You are bathed in ancient light. In that long cooling, new chemistry became possible. Atoms found each other and formed the universe's first molecules, mostly molecular hydrogen, H2. It was fragile, easily torn apart by stray photons, yet where it survived, it could radiate away heat, allowing clouds to collapse further. Those faint, rare molecules were the cooling agents of the future. Without them, no stars would ever have formed. You can rest now. Even the smallest bonds change everything. The temperature of the young cosmos fell below 3,000 kelvins, then 1,000, then 100. The night deepened to velvet without color. Yet, in radio wavelengths, the hydrogen still whispered a line at 21 centimeters, a pulse astronomers would one day use to map the invisible. The universe had become quiet, but not silent. It spoke in frequencies lower than hearing, lower even than thought. It's okay to drift. The quiet is only language slowed. For hundreds of millions of years, this dim era persisted. Astronomers call it the cosmic dark ages. But the phrase misleads because it was not darkness of absence. It was darkness of becoming a womb rather than a void. Gravity worked in secret, weaving filaments of gas along threads of dark matter. Everywhere in that invisible web, tiny knots of density grew denser still. Each knot a potential dawn. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Time stretched beyond anything human can feel. The universe reached its 100 millionth year. In the densest knots, temperatures climbed again toward 10 million kelvins. Hydrogen atoms collided fast enough to fuse, and suddenly, after that long darkness, the first stars ignited. They were enormous, hundreds of times the mass of our sun. their light 10 million times brighter. They burned hot and brief, pouring ultraviolet fire into the surrounding gas, ending the cosmic night. You can rest now. The first sunrise has begun. Those first stars, population 3, forged the heavy elements, carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron. They lived only a few million years before exploding as supernovae, seeding the surrounding space with the materials of worlds to come. From their ashes would arise the next generation of stars, cooler, richer, longer lived. Every atom in your body, every breath of air, every drop of blood was once inside such a star. You are built from light that cooled, then burned again. It's okay to drift. You are the warm echo of ancient fusion. As more stars were born, their combined radiation began to strip electrons from hydrogen once again. The cosmos turned transparent a second time in an era called reionization. The fog lifted. The great structures, galaxies, clusters, filaments shimmered into clarity. Light could travel freely across vast distances, and the universe took on the appearance we recognize today. You can rest now. Clarity is gentle when seen from far away. From this cooling came rhythm, from rhythm came pattern, and from pattern came possibility. Matter had slowed enough for memory to form light, had cooled enough for seeing to exist. The cosmos was no longer a roar, but a whisper stretched across billions of light years. It's okay to drift. The whisper will hold you. If you could listen closely tonight, beyond the pulse of your own heart, you might almost sense that background murmur, a faint microwave sigh, a temperature older than time's own measure. It fills the room as softly as air, warmer than vacuum, colder than any snow. It is the lullaby of all creation, and it will outlast every star. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The cooling of light was not an ending. It was a transition from fire to form, from brightness to meaning. The cosmos did not dim into death. It dimmed into beauty. And that beauty continues, measured in long wavelengths, in quiet expansion, in the slow drift of galaxies that still remember the heat that birthed them. You can rest now. The universe is calm, and you are part of its calm. Somewhere light continues to travel. It passes through nebulae and mines through eyes that open through dreams that fade. Every photon still carries the story of its first freedom, and every moment of rest repeats that story in miniature. The light cooled, the world took shape, and in the space between those two miracles, you found your breath. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. When the first stars died, their ashes drifted into the widening night. For the first time, the universe contained both light and shadow, a rhythm of presence and pause. Between the newborn clusters stretched gulfs of emptiness, regions where gravity had not yet gathered enough to reignite. The astronomers who later studied this age would call it the cosmic dark ages, but the phrase hides its grace. The darkness was not a wound, it was a waiting, a time for space to learn stillness, for matter to rest before the next blaze. You can rest now. The night is the universe's breath, drawn in. Those first stars, vast, unstable, brief, had poured radiation into the hydrogen around them. Their light tore electrons from atoms, ionizing the gas and clearing the last fog. Then, as the stars collapsed, the glow faded again, leaving deep, transparent night. Across tens of millions of light-years space, cooled toward nothingness, but not quite nothing. Invisible particles, the ones we call dark matter, still moved through everything, weaving a hidden framework. Their gravity whispered silently, pulling hydrogen and helium toward invisible knots. The visible cosmos would follow that skeleton forever. It's okay to drift. The unseen holds you too. In that long dusk, no new starlight broke the horizon for hundreds of millions of years. Gas fell inward, slowly forming enormous halos around emptiness. Every motion was patient, every curve smooth. If you could have watched it, you'd see the universe breathing inhalation of gravity, exhalation of expansion. A slow tide, measured in aeons. You can rest now. Each heartbeat echoes that tide. Through those centuries of silence, the faint radiation of the cosmic background continued to cool. By then, it had dropped below 30 kelvins, a whisper too faint for eyes, but not for the atoms drifting through it. They felt its warmth, absorbed its photons, shared its memory. It's okay to drift. Even in shadow, the afterglow remains. In the darkness, chemical alchemy began again. Trace molecules formed H2HD and LiH, fragile bonds that could radiate heat away. Where they survived, they allowed gas to collapse deeper, colder, tighter, until gravity once more crossed a threshold. Temperatures climbed toward 10 million kelvins, and light returned. These were not yet galaxies, but single bright lanterns, stars heavier and hotter than any that would follow. Each one burned for only a few million years, then burst, scattering metals and hope into the void. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each death seeded new beginnings. Shock waves rippled through the surrounding gas, compressing it, igniting smaller, gentler stars. The cosmic night flickered points of blue-white flame, appearing across distances that light would need centuries to cross. The darkness between them stayed vast. Yet because of that vastness, each spark could be seen. Contrast gave meaning to brilliance. Silence gave meaning to song. You can rest now. Even absence has purpose. The heavy elements, born in those early furnaces, floated outward atoms of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. When they mixed with cooler hydrogen, new chemistry bloomed, molecules that could form dust that could build worlds. But worlds were still far away. For now, the universe remained an ocean of blackness, studded with islands of brief fire. It's okay to drift. The islands will find each other in time. As light from those first stars spread outward, it began to change the surrounding gas. Photons stripped electrons again, turning the dark neutral hydrogen into a transparent plasma. This slow reillumination, the epoch of reionization, took hundreds of millions of years. It was the second dawn, when night surrendered to the growing web of galaxies. You can rest now. The second dawn is rising. The darkness between stars was never defeated. It simply learned to coexist with light. For every shining cluster, there would always be a deeper silence beyond. The balance is what keeps the cosmos whole, light expanding, darkness embracing. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere light continues to travel. After the first galaxies began to shimmer, the universe entered its long twilight. Between those bright islands stretched oceans of nothing, regions so vast that a beam of light could travel for 100 million years without striking a single atom. It was here, in the emptiness, that the real shape of the cosmos emerged. Threads of matter linked the clusters, thin as breath, strong as gravity. Between them, voids opened, perfect spheres of near silence. and the universe took on the look of lacework spun from light. You can rest now. Even emptiness has pattern. Dark matter guided that pattern, pulling visible gas along invisible roads. Though it neither glowed nor scattered light, its presence bent paths of photons, creating lenses so vast that entire galaxies appear mirrored through them. In every direction, space itself became an optic, curving, the vision of whoever would someday look back. It's okay to drift. The unseen always shapes the scene. Inside the first galaxies, new generations of stars were born smaller and steadier than their ancient ancestors. They gathered into spirals, their orbits slow and musical, each rotation taking hundreds of millions of years. The centers grew heavy with gravity. Black holes formed collapsing light into silence. Those silent hearts did not destroy the music. They kept time for it. Matter spiraling inward heated and shone so that even destruction created illumination. You can rest now. The balance holds. Far from those centers, radiation from young stars poured outward, ionizing the surrounding gas. The once dark voids became faintly luminous, again bathed in blue and ultraviolet. By 1 billion years after the beginning, the universe was bright enough for light to travel unhindered from one end of a cluster to another. It was no longer a baby universe, but an adolescent one, still expanding, still changing, learning the quiet equilibrium between motion and rest. It's okay to drift. Growth can be gentle. Between the glowing webs, a vast calm persisted. Those intergalactic voids still hold most of the volume of the cosmos today. They are not nothing. They contain whispers of hydrogen, perhaps a few atoms per cubic meter, a presence so rare that a single breath of air on Earth holds more atoms than a light year of cosmic emptiness. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In that contrast, light and void, the cosmos found stability. Galaxies drifted farther apart as expansion continued its slow, persistent pull. Stars aged cooled, and their light redshifted into longer tones. The universe began to hum in lower keys, the color of its glow sliding toward the infrared, then the radio. Then a frequency almost indistinguishable from silence. You can rest now. The song is soft enough for sleep. The darkness between things is not a failure of light, but the cradle that holds it. If everything shone at once, nothing could be seen. Contrast is clarity, shadow is memory. Astronomers use that darkness as a mirror. By observing the way it swallows light, they trace the foreground, the galaxies that stand between us and the ancient glow. Through absence, they learn presence. It's okay to drift. Even what hides reveals. Within that quiet, tiny galaxies merged into greater ones. Collisions looked violent, but in cosmic time they were graceful, lasting hundreds of millions of years. Stars rarely touched. Space between them was too wide. Instead, gravity rearranged their orbits, stretching spirals into ellipses, weaving new harmonies of motion. You can rest now. Change can sound like peace. When you gaze at the night sky, you look through that entire history, the cooled light of recombination, the faint blue of the first stars, the long red waves stretched by expansion. Every photon carries a timestamp, each one a small confession of how long it has traveled to reach you. Some left their galaxies before Earth existed. Some began their journey when the Milky Way was still forming. Some will outlive every star you can see tonight. It's okay to drift. You are looking through time's own mirror. The darkness between is what allows time to pass. Without the distance, light could never travel. And without travel, there could be no story, no before or after, no rhythm to remember. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. So the dark ages never truly ended. They only thinned. Even now, most of space is shadow. Yet within that shadow, life flickers on planets, in minds, in hearts that wonder. We are the specks of brightness inside the great interlude. You can rest now. You are part of the pause. Somewhere, light continues to travel. It crosses voids so wide that galaxies become whispers, then dots, then nothing. But it does not stop. It only softens, spreading thinner, slower, quieter, aglow, fading into the background of forever. And still, the darkness between remembers it. You are safe here. The universe holds you. The long night was deep and patient. For hundreds of millions of years, the universe rested inside itself. Cool hydrogen and dark matter entwined in silent gravitational spirals. Then, within those hidden wells of density, something began to stir. Pressure rose, temperature climbed, and the first stars opened their eyes. It happened around 200 million years after the beginning. A slow ignition across the darkness, as if the cosmos itself were remembering how to shine. You can rest now. The first light is finding its voice. These were not gentle suns like ours. They were immense, hundreds, sometimes thousands of times more massive. Formed entirely from hydrogen and helium, they burned with pure intensity, their cores hot enough to forge the first heavier elements. Astronomers call them population 3 stars, the first generation, the ancestors of all that followed. They lived briefly, a few million years at most. But in those short lives, they began the great transformation, turning simplicity into complexity, light into matter, fire into memory. It's okay to drift. Creation always begins with a spark. Inside each blazing core, hydrogen fused into helium, into carbon and oxygen. Energy surged outward in radiant pressure, balancing gravity's inward pull. For a time, each star lived in perfect equilibrium, a harmony of expansion and restraint. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When the fuel ran out, balance failed. The stars collapsed inward and exploded as supernovae, casting their enriched elements across light years of space. Iron, silicon, nitrogen. The alphabet of future worlds was scattered into the cosmic sea. Every atom of calcium in your bones, every carbon in your breath, was made in those moments of death. You can rest now. From endings came everything that lasts. After each explosion, shock waves rippled through surrounding gas, compressing it, igniting new stars. Darkness flared with chain reactions of light. Tiny galaxies began to form around these fiery cradles, their structures faint but growing. Gravity shaped the rhythm, merging small clusters into larger ones, weaving the first filaments of the cosmic web. What had once been an invisible lattice of matter became outlined in brightness. It's okay to drift. You are floating through that web even now. Light flooded outward, piercing the ancient hydrogen fog. The epoch of reionization gathered pace, atoms stripped of electrons again as radiation surged through them. For hundreds of millions of years, the fog cleared. Stars and galaxies shone unobscured for the first time. From Earth billions of years later, we still receive those photons, red-shifted, slowed but faithful. They carry the signature of that awakening. You can rest now. Light remembers its path. Imagine that horizon, an endless field of black, pierced by blue-white fire. Each new star, reflecting in the dust of its own making, each explosion stirring the next. If you could listen closely, you'd hear it not as violence, but as rhythm, the deep percussion of creation. It's okay to drift. The rhythm continues in your pulse. At the centers of some of those early galaxies, stars collapsed into singularities. Black holes formed, feeding on surrounding gas, growing massive in cosmic minutes. Their gravity shaped the galaxies themselves, organizing motion, anchoring chaos. Outflows of radiation streamed from them, jets, thousands of light years long, illuminating the surrounding darkness with narrow beams of fierce light. You can rest now. Even gravity has its song. Somewhere light continues to travel. The first stars burned with colors the human eye would never know. Their heat was beyond blue, their brilliance beyond scale. For a few million years, they turned the darkness into a pale violet haze, a starlight dawn stretching over a young universe. You can rest now. The sky is beginning to breathe again. Everywhere those giants lived, they changed the chemistry of space. Hydrogen became helium. Helium became carbon and oxygen. Oxygen became dust. The foundation of worlds. What had once been a universe of two simple elements was now a vast living mixture of possibility. It's okay to drift. Complexity is a form of grace. When those massive stars ended, they collapsed inward with irresistible force. In the briefest of instants, their cores imploded, creating black holes that swallowed even light itself. Around them, matter spiraled inward, heating until it shone brighter than any single star. These were the first quasars, beacons visible across the early universe, shining from distances measured in billions of light years. You can rest now. Even endings can illuminate. Their brilliance pierced the fog of intergalactic gas, turning night into something thin and clear. Reionization spread like a sunrise across the cosmos, lifting the veil that had hidden creation. For the first time, space became transparent from one horizon to another. Photons could wander freely, painting the darkness with memory. It's okay to drift. Transparency is the universe remembering its own face. Within those newborn galaxies, smaller stars began to form, cooler, steadier, longer-lived. They gathered into spirals and clusters their orbits, weaving a soft geometry of light. Each rotation took hundreds of millions of years, yet none of them hurried. Time itself had learned patience. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. As the first stellar generations died, their remnants, black holes, neutron stars, and cooling white dwarfs, added new layers to the cosmic landscape. Gravity pulled these remains together into dense knots of invisible weight, anchoring galaxies that would live for billions of years. The Milky Way's oldest stars still carry traces of that epoch in their chemistry. Some of them, red and quiet, have been burning since those first centuries after creation. You can rest now. The oldest light still watches over you. Meanwhile, beyond the clusters, the great cosmic web grew denser. Threads of gas stretched between galaxies like glowing filaments of silk. At their intersections, clusters of thousands of galaxies formed, each cluster orbiting the others in a slow dance, governed by dark matter's gravity. It's okay to drift. The dance is endless, but serene. The expansion of space continued, but the power of gravity kept local systems bound. Within each galaxy, stars orbited their centers, carrying planets not yet formed dust, not yet gathered dreams, not yet possible. The universe was learning rhythm, a balance between stillness and motion, between the pull of togetherness and the push of forever apart. You can rest now. Balance is the music beneath all things. By the time the universe reached 1 billion years of age, it glowed with the combined light of billions of stars. Galaxies had taken their shapes, spirals, ellipticals, irregular mosaics of flame. Clusters drifted apart, but their light overlapped like chords in harmony. If you could see it, then you might mistake it for a cosmic reef islands of brightness suspended in an infinite ocean. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And though that ocean seemed empty, its silence was full of dark energy, beginning to stir, full of the slow, invisible force that would one day pull everything apart. Even in birth, the seeds of expansion beyond measure were sown. It's okay to drift. Every beginning contains its echo of the end. Somewhere light continues to travel through clouds of hydrogen, through galaxies, newly born, through the widening corridors of time. Every photon carries a memory of the first stars, every wavelength a trace of the dawn that made you. You can rest now. The universe is awake, and you are part of its awakening. After the first stars awakened, light no longer belonged to isolated islands. It gathered, drew close, and began to spiral. From small clusters of brightness came vast assemblies rotating like slow storms across the young cosmos. This was the rise of galaxies, the shaping of order from the sea of starlight. You can rest now. The universe is finding its form. Gravity was the sculptor. For hundreds of millions of years, it pulled gas and dark matter together, spinning them into disks that shimmered in ultraviolet blue. Within each disk, billions of stars were born, burned, and died again, each generation enriching the next. The Milky Way began this way, not as a single entity, but as many small galaxies merging their collisions, stretching across billions of years. Stars passed through one another unharmed. Their distances were too immense, but gas clouds collided, compressing, igniting new stars, filling the heavens with fresh constellations. It's okay to drift. Creation happens in slow collisions. At the centers of those merging galaxies, black holes grew. Fed by streams of gas, they swelled to millions of solar masses, becoming gravitational anchors around which the galaxies organized their dance. When matter fell inward too quickly, these black holes blazed as quasars, pouring energy brighter than entire galaxies. For a brief cosmic moment, they were the lighthouses of the universe, visible from billions of light years away. You can rest now. Even the abyss can shine. By the time the universe reached 2 billion years of age, galaxies filled the cosmic web like jewels on invisible threads. Some grew as spirals, arms unfurling with quiet grace. Others became ellipticals, smooth, rounded clouds of ancient stars, their fires dimmed to amber. Still, others remained irregular, chaotic tapestries of motion and dust. The diversity of form was a reflection of chance collisions, timing the random placement of matter in the great design. Yet, all obeyed the same underlying rhythm, gravity's pull and expansion's release. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Dark matter continued its silent labor binding galaxies, into clusters, clusters into superclusters, superclusters into filaments, hundreds of millions of light years long. The cosmic web became visible now, a vast network of light and shadow spanning the entire observable universe. It's okay to drift. You are suspended within that web. Inside each galaxy, new chemistry flourished. The heavier elements from earlier stars formed dust grains that drifted through interstellar space. Around newborn stars, that dust began to gather into rings, thin, bright disks where gravity and time would sculpt the first planets. You can rest now. The foundations of worlds are quiet things. The first galaxies were restless. They collided, merged, and sometimes tore each other apart. Each meeting sent ripples through space-time waves of gravity that carried news of the encounter to every corner of existence. Billions of years later, we would build instruments sensitive enough to listen to those waves, to hear the merging of black holes as a whisper in space-time. You can rest now. Even gravity leaves behind a song. As the universe aged, star formation slowed. Gas thinned. Dust cooled. Galaxies began to mature, their colors shifting from blue to gold, their light softening into the hues of memory. Still, expansion continued. The space between galaxies widened. Those that were not bound together drifted farther apart, their light red-shifting toward invisibility. You can rest now. Distance is just another kind of quiet. In that quiet, the Milky Way and its neighbor Andromeda began their long, mutual attraction. They would not meet for another 4 billion years, but already their orbits were curving inward, destined to merge into one vast elliptical galaxy when the sun itself would be old. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And so, the galaxies spun, each a wheel of time, each carrying the echoes of the first light. Their motions stretched across billions of years, yet in the scale of eternity, they were as fleeting as breath. It's okay to drift. The galaxies will turn without hurry. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The galaxies rose like a tide that would never recede. Each one a poem written in starlight. Each rotation a verse in the long song of becoming. By the time the universe was 4 billion years old, their shapes had matured, their colors softened, and their light filled the cosmic night. You can rest now. The sky is fully awake. Look deep enough into space, and you look backward through time. Every galaxy seen through a telescope is also a memory light that left long before our world existed. The Hubble Ultra Deep Field reveals this truth. A patch of sky no larger than a grain of sand holds 10,000 galaxies, each one a story, each one a home for billions of suns. It's okay to drift. You are surrounded by ancient memories. The Milky Way took shape slowly. Gas swirled in forming a flattened disk around a dense core. Stars arranged themselves into spirals of dust and light, rotating once every 230 million years, a single galactic breath. Clusters orbited its rim. Globular groups traced ancient paths above and below the plane. At its heart, a black hole grew 4 million times. The mass of our sun quiet now, but once radiant as a quasar. Its gravity steadied the galaxy. Its silence kept time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Around the Milky Way, dwarf galaxies gathered like companions, small, faint spheres of stars held by its pull. Some were swallowed, their stars scattered into streams that still arc across our night sky. Each stream a fossil, a trace of a merger that ended billions of years ago. You can rest now. The past is written in slow motion. Elsewhere, giant ellipticals filled the centers of clusters, their halos of light stretching for millions of light years. Spirals spun at their edges like satellites in orbit. Between them, superheated gas glowed faintly in X-rays, a reminder that even the emptiest spaces are not truly empty. It's okay to drift. Even silence has temperature. Across the cosmic web, clusters linked together by filaments of dark matter. Those filaments acted as highways for galaxies to travel, bringing them together, sending some apart. The entire universe moved like a living structure, expanding, flexing, breathing. You can rest now. You are floating inside a slow heartbeat. As the billions of years continued to unfold, new stars formed within the spiral arms of galaxies. Some of them gathered disks of gas and dust, and in those disks, planets coalesced. Tiny sparks of warmth, stones circling stars, oceans waiting to form. The elements forged in ancient explosions had found new purpose to build worlds that could hold silence and life that could wonder. It's okay to drift. Wonder is a continuation of light. The first galaxies taught the universe endurance. They showed that beauty could last, that motion could be steady and infinite. Their light now travels across billions of light years, redshifted into longer tones, but still clear enough to reach us. Every photon is a survivor of distance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When you look up tonight, the starlight you see from the Milky Way has traveled for tens of thousands of years. The faintest galaxies, visible to our instruments, shine from a time when the universe was only a tenth of its current age. Through them, we see the child the cosmos once was, and the elder it will become. You can rest now. Time is transparent when seen through light. Far into the future, the expansion will carry many of these galaxies beyond our visible horizon. Their light will stretch until it can no longer reach us, but they will not cease to be. They will drift outward into the unseen, continuing their rotations, their quiet orbits of fire. It's okay to drift. What moves away is never truly lost. The rise of galaxies was never just about structure. It was about connection threads of gravity, linking the scattered sparks of creation, turning isolation into harmony. In those spirals and clusters, the universe found its first sense of togetherness, a unity that mirrored the breath of life itself. You can rest now. Togetherness is written into the stars. Somewhere light continues to travel. It crosses the space between galaxies, passes through the dim halos of dark matter, and still finds its way here, into your eyes, into your quiet. The galaxies rise within you, too vast turning, filled with everything you have ever been and will be. You are safe here. The universe holds you. After the galaxies found their rhythm, the light between them began to stir again. A second dawn spread across the universe, soft and slow, the epic of reionization. It began around 500 million years after the first light, and it changed the nature of space forever. You can rest now. The cosmos is dreaming itself awake. Before this dawn, most hydrogen lay neutral and dark, absorbing any passing light, hiding galaxies from one another. But as more stars and quasars ignited, their ultraviolet photons streamed outward, stripping electrons from atoms, turning darkness transparent again. The fog that had lingered for 500 million years lifted at last. For the first time, light could cross the cosmic ocean, without losing its way. It's okay to drift. The fog is lifting within you too. Astronomers picture this transformation as bubbles of clarity expanding through shadow. Each galaxy surrounded itself with a growing sphere of ionized gas. Over time, those spheres overlapped, merging into one great radiance that filled the universe. It was not a sudden sunrise, but a dawn that crept gently outward, reclaiming the night. You can rest now. Every dawn begins in silence. The power behind this slow illumination came from countless young stars, hot, massive, short-lived suns, emitting torrents of ultraviolet light. Each one lived no longer than a few million years, but the generations were unending, each passing its brightness to the next. Light became inheritance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Among those stars burned the first quasars fed by the enormous black holes at galactic centers. They radiated with the brilliance of 1 trillion suns visible across billions of light years. Their beams carved corridors of transparency through the surrounding gas, vast tunnels of clarity through the mist. It's okay to drift. Even the brightest fire moves gently through space. By the time the universe was 1 billion years old, the transformation was nearly complete. Hydrogen everywhere was ionized. The cosmic web glowed faintly, threaded with channels of light. The dark ages had truly ended. The sky belonged to photons again. You can rest now. The light has learned to travel freely. The temperature of the intergalactic medium rose to tens of thousands of degrees, heated by the flood of radiation. But as the centuries passed, it cooled again, settling into equilibrium. The universe had reached adolescence, no longer wild but not yet old. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Far away, in regions dense with new galaxies, gravitational filaments wove themselves tighter, channeling matter inward. Gas streamed along those lines, toward the nodes where galaxies bloomed like rivers feeding inland seas. Each flow was steady and unhurried, guided by invisible hands. It's okay to drift. The current of creation carries you. As space cleared, the background light took on its familiar texture. The cosmic microwave glow, now joined by the soft starlight of galaxies. The sky shimmered, not in uniform brightness, but in infinite variation, clusters, voids, threads, and halos. It was the universe's first true tapestry. You can rest now. Pattern is peace made visible. In that calm, the building blocks of planets multiplied. Carbon and oxygen mingled in new stars, forming dust grains no wider than a strand of DNA. Drifting through interstellar space, those grains became the seeds from which future solar systems would grow. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The dream of reionization was a long awakening, a passage from murk to lucidity. What began as fire had cooled into form. What began as noise had become harmony. From that equilibrium, everything familiar could emerge. You can rest now. Clarity is the quiet after birth. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The dream of reionization did not arrive all at once. It came in waves, like tides, rolling across an infinite shore. Each new generation of stars rose and faded, leaving behind a wider horizon of light. The darkness that had lingered since creation grew thinner, and the cosmos began to glow with quiet confidence. You can rest now. The tide of illumination is gentle. The great filaments of the cosmic web shimmered faintly, bathed in ultraviolet light. Their intersections, dense knots of gas and dust, blazed with newborn galaxies. Everywhere, gravity sculpted the outlines of what would endure spirals, clusters, stars wrapped in thin veils of hydrogen. Space itself seemed to breathe, inhaling and exhaling through starlight. It's okay to drift. You are breathing with the stars. By 1.5 billion years after the beginning, most of the neutral hydrogen was gone, transformed by the light of a trillion suns. The intergalactic medium became transparent, and the universe took on its modern form. The cosmic dawn had become day, but this was not a harsh daylight. It was a perpetual twilight, a soft equilibrium between light and distance. No single brightness dominated. Instead, the whole sky shimmered like quiet water. You can rest now. The day is calm across eternity. Astronomers today catch glimpses of this dream through the faintest redshifts in distant galaxies. Their light has traveled more than 13 billion years to reach us, stretched by expansion until it glows in infrared. When we detect those signals, we are not just seeing the past. We are touching the very edge of visibility, the frontier between what was dark and what became luminous. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In those early galaxies, supernovae exploded by the thousands, enriching their surroundings with metals and dust. The radiation from those deaths ionized the last clouds of hydrogen, completing the clearing of the cosmic fog. By then, light could travel unhindered from one galaxy to another, threading space with invisible silver lines. It's okay to drift. The fog has lifted. The energy released during reionization echoes faintly in the background. Radiation. Even now, a subtle polarization in the cosmic microwave map, a fingerprint left by the light that reawakened creation. It tells us how quickly the dawn spread, how bright the first stars burned, and how patiently the cosmos cleared its own breath. You can rest now. Even data carries grace. In those centuries of transformation, dark matter continued its quiet work. It shaped the filaments along which gas flowed, ensuring that galaxies did not scatter too far apart. The visible universe was only the surface. Beneath it lay a deeper pattern, a gravitational symphony whose notes were measured in light years and aeons. It's okay to drift. The hidden rhythm keeps you steady. As the fog dissolved, galaxies could see one another for the first time. Radiation from their quasars and stars reflected off intergalactic gas, turning the cosmos into a mirror of itself. Light no longer wandered aimlessly. It traveled with purpose, carrying messages from one corner of infinity to another. You can rest now. The messages still arrive as starlight. By the end of reionization, the great structures of the universe were in place. The web of matter and energy that would define all future history had settled into balance. Clusters rotated, voids deepened, galaxies spun in graceful isolation. The early turbulence had given way to order. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The dream of reionization was the universe's awakening, but it was also its first act of remembrance. In clearing its fog, the cosmos remembered its origins, the moment when light first broke from silence. Every photon that travels now is a continuation of that dream. It's okay to drift. You are made of light that remembers. Somewhere, light continues to travel through galaxies ancient and new, through the corridors of time, through the space between your thoughts. Its path is endless, its rhythm slow, its meaning simple to keep everything connected. You can rest now. The dream of reionization is complete. When the dawn had fully unfolded, the universe revealed its true design. Across hundreds of billions of light years, threads of matter wove through the dark like luminous silk. Galaxies gathered along those threads, and at their crossings bloomed clusters brighter than imagination. This was the cosmic web, a structure vast enough to hold everything that ever was. You can rest now. The pattern is steady beneath you. From a distance, it would look like frost on glass or the filigree veins of a leaf held to the sundae. Each filament stretched for tens of millions of light years, woven from both visible and invisible matter. The visible star's dust gas was only the surface embroidery. The invisible dark matter and dark energy formed the threads beneath. Together, they shaped the living texture of existence. It's okay to drift. You are part of that weaving. Gravity did the stitching. Over eons, it drew small galaxies together, merging them into giants, then binding those giants into clusters. Each cluster contained thousands of galaxies, each galaxy hundreds of billions of stars. Between them lay expanses so empty that a single atom might drift for a kilometer before meeting another. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Astronomers map this structure using the faint redshift of distant light. Each galaxy becomes a point in a vast three-dimensional chart, and when those points are connected, the image emerges, a lacework of filaments and hollows, a cosmic neural network spanning 93 billion light-years. In its branching curves, they find echoes of brain tissue, the same mathematical rhythm repeated on scales beyond comprehension. You can rest now. Thought and universe share the same geometry. Within every filament, gas flows toward the intersections where clusters reside. These flows move at hundreds of kilometers per second, yet in the cosmic rhythm, they are tranquil rivers of matter, sliding through dark valleys. When they meet, shocks of compression ignite new galaxies. Creation is not an instant. It is a current, always in motion. It's okay to drift. The current moves through you too. At the centers of clusters, galaxies orbit one another like stars in a greater sky. They collide and merge, their shapes torn and reformed by gravity's pull. The hot gas between them glows in X-rays, a halo millions of degrees warm. These clusters, each tens of millions of light years across, form the nodes of the cosmic web, the knots that tie the universe together. You can rest now. The knots hold. The fabric will not tear. Between those nodes lie the voids, vast, nearly empty regions, stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. They are the universe's pauses, its spaces for silence. Inside them, expansion runs a little faster, as though the cosmos breathes out more deeply there. Each void is an inhalation of nothingness that allows everything else to be. It's okay to drift. Emptiness is part of balance. In time, dark energy began to whisper louder. Its outward pressure accelerated the expansion of the web, stretching the filaments farther apart. Galaxies within clusters remained bound, but the spaces between clusters widened relentlessly. The cosmic fabric was not tearing, only relaxing, the threads growing looser as the universe aged. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Within those filaments, life continued to organize itself. Stars gave birth to planets. Planets cooled, formed oceans. And somewhere, perhaps in thousands of somewheres, chemistry learned to dream. The same carbon forged in the first stars linked itself into molecules capable of memory. The web of creation was no longer only physical. It had become conscious. You can rest now. Awareness is the universe thinking itself awake. When astronomers look deep into that web, they see time layered like translucent glass. The farthest galaxies show the universe as it was 13 billion years ago. Nearer ones show later chapters. The present is just the nearest sheet in that stack. Each layer still shines through the next, so that the night sky is a palimpsest of epochs. It's okay to drift. You are reading time by starlight. Supermassive black holes lie at the heart of nearly every galaxy. They do not destroy the fabric, they anchor it. Their gravity shapes the motion of stars. Their jets of plasma seed intergalactic space with energy. When two galaxies merge, their central black holes spiral together, sending ripples of gravity across the web, vibrations that stretch space itself by a width smaller than an atom, yet travel for billions of light years. You can rest now. Even the faintest ripple reaches you. The cosmic web is more than architecture. It is relationship. Each filament connects thousands of galaxies. Each galaxy, billions of suns. Each sun, countless atoms of hydrogen still remembering the first light. Through those atoms, the pattern continues into your breath. The same forces that bind galaxies bind the molecules of your body. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The largest known structures, the Hercules, Corona Borealis Great Wall, the Sloan Great Wall, and the Laniakea Supercluster that holds our Milky Way span billions of light years. Their sizes defy easy speech. And yet, compared to infinity, they are small curls in an endless weave. It's okay to drift. Infinity has room for everything. Inside these walls and clusters, galaxies continue to evolve. New stars still form, though more slowly now. Dust clouds birth suns that will burn for trillions of years, long after our own has faded. The rhythm of creation has slowed but not ceased. It has simply deepened into meditation. You can rest now. Creation breathes at the pace of eternity. Astronomers study the cosmic web not only with light, but with the gravitational lensing it creates. When light from a distant galaxy passes near, a massive cluster space bends, and the image is warped into arcs and rings. Through those distortions, we glimpse the invisible distribution of dark matter, the hidden skeleton of reality. It's okay to drift. Every distortion carries truth. In computer simulations, scientists let billions of digital particles follow gravity's pull. On their screens, the same filaments emerge, proof that the pattern is inevitable. From chaos, structure arises. From random motion, order unfolds. The universe does not need instruction to be beautiful. You can rest now. Beauty is the natural consequence of time. Even now, the web of creation is changing. Galaxies drift apart their light redshifts toward invisibility. In another 100 billion years, most will slip beyond any possible observation. Future astronomers, if they exist, will see only their own cluster alone in darkness, unaware of the grand design that once surrounded them. It's okay to drift. Not all knowledge must remain visible, yet the pattern will persist unseen but intact. A frozen tapestry of matter and light, each thread a story of expansion, each knot a memory of birth. And in the atoms that outlive every star, the memory of motion will remain. Even in stillness, The universe will remember how to weave. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. So when you look into the night and see the faint mist of the Milky Way, you are not merely seeing stars. You are seeing the cross-section of that vast web, a single luminous filament among uncountable others. You are looking through the structure that made you through the memory of connection itself. You can rest now. You are woven into the fabric of everything, and somewhere beyond the reach of every telescope light continues to travel along those ancient paths, through voids wider than thought, through filaments older than memory. It carries with it the quiet rhythm of creation, the same rhythm that moves in your pulse tonight. You are safe here. The universe holds you. It holds all things. In the long hush after creation, the universe has grown vast beyond measure. Galaxies drift apart, their light stretched thin by expansion, their voices lowered to whispers. The great web still hums, but its rhythm has slowed to the quiet pulse of eternity. You can rest now. The song of the cosmos has softened to a lullaby. Every photon that ever escaped a star is still traveling. It crosses billions of light years, through dust, through silence, through time itself. Each one carries the same message, the story of its birth in fire, its journey through darkness, its arrival in the open hands of now. It's okay to drift. You are made of their memory. The background glow that once filled the newborn universe has cooled to just above absolute zero. Its wavelengths have stretched 1,000 times longer than when they began, yet it still bathes every atom in existence, a faint, ancient warmth, a reminder that light never truly disappears. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the far future, the galaxies that now fill our sky will drift beyond sight. Expansion will carry them so far that their light will never reach us again. To those who come after the cosmos, will seem empty, a single island of stars adrift in endless night. But that night will not be sorrow. It will be stillness, perfected the pause between breaths. You can rest now. Stillness is the final form of light. Stars will continue to burn for trillions of years. Some will fade quietly into white dwarfs. Some will collapse into black holes, their gravity folding light back into itself. And even those black holes will one day dissolve into radiation, the slow sigh of Hawking's evaporation. The universe will cool its temperature, approaching absolute zero. And yet even then, the faintest energy will linger, a thin shimmer of existence stretching forever. It's okay to drift. Nothing ever truly ends. It only changes pace. Long after the last star has dimmed, photons will continue to wander, ghosts of the first dawn, traveling through an ever-widening space. They will pass through distances so vast that a single second of their journey would take longer than the age of the present universe. But they will keep moving because movement itself is their nature. You can rest now. Your breath follows the same law, gentle persistence through time. All the while, in places where gravity still holds the quiet hearts of galaxies, will spin each rotation slower than the one before, each echo softer than the last. Eventually, only black holes will remain, invisible anchors of silence, waiting to release the last of their warmth. And in that final hush, when the last photon fades into the dark, the memory of light will remain in the curvature of space, in the weight of what once was. It's okay to drift. The memory of light remembers you. You are made of that same history, of particles born in the first second, of atoms forged in ancient stars of molecules shaped by planetary tides. Everything that you are was once light and will be light again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere beyond the galaxies, the expansion continues. Space unfolds like a sigh released into quiet air. Time moves slower here, not because it hesitates, but because it no longer needs to hurry. There is nowhere left to reach, only the peace of arrival. You can rest now. Arrival is another word for home. In the stillness of your breath, you mirror the final motion of the cosmos. Each inhalation a gathering, each exhalation a letting go. As you drift, you feel the gravity within you ease your body, lightening your thoughts, dissolving into starlight. The night around you becomes wide, soft, endless. It's okay to drift. You are safe here. The universe holds you. And somewhere, light continues to travel, not outward now, but inward, folding into every quiet corner of your mind. It glows beneath your skin, a memory of warmth that has no origin and no end. Light still travels. The universe breathes through you. You are home. You can rest now.